No more silence. What exactly is prostitution? By definition, prostitution is the act of engaging in sexual activity with another being for payment. However, in an interview involving former prostitute Roberta Victor, she reveals that men didn't always pay for sex, but rather to be seen with an attractive woman or simply to have someone who would listen to them. Why prostitution? Many prostitutes are treated harshly because of what they do, which is very unfair. Society has allowed for an uncomfortable feeling to develop whenever sex is mentioned, and so prostitutes who engage in multiple sexual acts with multiple people are often thought of as disgusting or immoral. We should not allow our personal beliefs to get in the way of how we treat others. All professions should be taken seriously, and no person should be judged based on how they make a living. As Dr. Seuss once said, a person is a person no matter how small. The reason behind prostitution. Although some sex workers may simply enjoy the act itself, which is nothing to be ashamed of, many prostitutes do it because they have to. Some prostitutes are forced into this profession at a very young age due to severe issues they may face at home, while others simply do it to provide food and housing for their children. Since when is it considered a bad thing to want to provide for one's children? Abuse that prostitutes face. Although prostitutes are selling their bodies for sexual means, they are not agreeing to the acts of abuse inflicted upon them. There have been many instances where they have been raped and beaten. Even so, sex workers are unable to report the assaults without turning themselves in as prostitutes. How to end this abuse? To give these people a voice and allow them to speak up against the horrible acts committed towards them, we must allow certain forms of prostitution to be legalized. If prostitution is something that they truly want to do, then why not allow them to, while also making it safer? This would finally give not only a voice to sex workers, but rights and privileges that were not available to them before. Legalizing prostitution. If brothel-type prostitution were to be legalized, many benefits towards the sex workers would be available. This includes a sense of safety as the workplace can now be monitored, less spread of diseases as the workers can now regularly be tested, and hopefully in the future the freedom from discrimination. Legalizing prostitution continued. Not only would the sex workers benefit from the legalization, but if legalized, a tax revenue could be generated through this newly recognized profession. Also, the amount of police force in this field would be drastically reduced, and they would now be able to focus on more severe crimes, such as preventing a future terrorist attack, rather than simply arresting prostitutes. Rumored harms of legalizing prostitution. I recognize that many parents may be concerned that the legalization of prostitution will encourage the youth to go into this profession. However, since there would be laws prohibiting minors, this would mean that they would not even have the option. In fact, the legalization of prostitution could very well get some of the minors currently involved taken out of this profession and put into safer places such as foster homes. Also, parents who would not like their children to go into this profession by any means should trust that they have raised their child as best as they could, meaning to avoid this profession due to its possible risks, however, without discriminating against it. Why legalization is the best solution. Prostitution has already become very popular not only in America but all around the globe. Our current system to prohibit it is obviously not very effective as there are still many prostitutes roaming the streets. So while we continue to ignore the issue, both men and women are risking their lives in hopes of survival. Since prostitution is so popular, it would be impossible to stop it completely, similar to how it would be impossible to send all illegal immigrants back to their home countries. Therefore, the only realistic solution to aiding those poor beings that must constantly put their lives on the line would be to legalize prostitution, just like many European countries already have, so regulations could be made and it could be treated just as any other profession. The final call. In the end, the decision will rely solemnly on the people. However, when this issue becomes popular, like gay rights now, keep in mind that one should not let their moral beliefs get in the way of allowing a parent to provide for their family, or a young adult to pay their way through college. It is one thing to have moral beliefs, but it is another to ruin someone else's life because of them.